Hello all and welcome to All Red. Apparently, it's Liverpool who are the ones who are embarrassed after Martin Zubimendi says no and rejects them outright. It's liver push. It's not Liverpool. They have no pull, apparently. That's from PWN Zilla, one of our viewers. Thanks for that good joke. This is the channel that is all Liverpool all the time. It's all red, and apparently it's all painful at the moment. But I do have silver linings for you because on this channel, I want to keep things positive. But before we get into that, we need to put things in the right place. And I need to be honest with you. This is on Richard Hughes. And this is embarrassing for Richard Hughes, even if it wasn't his fault, right? Even if Zubimendi said, I am 100% committed to Liverpool, I'm coming no matter what. This is still on Richard Hughes, and this is still a very, very bad look for Liverpool as a whole. And so I don't know what happens after this with Richard Hughes. Maybe he gets a slap on the wrist. Maybe he goes home and cries. I'm hoping what he's doing right now is not sleeping and really getting into the weeds on who they could potentially go after next. Because even though the club has said, or there have been reports that say Liverpool are not likely to go in for another 6 this window, I think that could be a smokescreen for them to make sure that they don't get into another mess like this and do things behind the scenes like we're used to. So I cannot sugarcoat this. I cannot say, Richard Hughes, you're not at fault. Richard Hughes, you're at fault. You didn't have things signed. You didn't have things finalized. And for whatever reason, things got leaked. And now we have a big mess on our hands. If none of this had come out and Zubimendi had privately rejected Liverpool, all good. That happens probably all the time. But the fact that this was public and, the fans are always going to be looking for secrets and for things to chew on. But this is on you, Richard. This is on you. Not a good first bout with the club here, dude. I'm on your side, man. I want you to do well. But I got to call you out when you need to be called out, and you need to be called out right now. But we need to jump into some positives. Where do Liverpool go from here? How do they fix the mess that they now have themselves in with less than 5 days to go now? Less than 5 days to go before the start of the Premier League season, and we have literally signed 0 players for the first team. Literally 0, which I don't know if that's ever happened before, at least not in the 25 years that I've been a fan. So, but let's get into some positive news, all right? I do have some positive news here, and I think we should just, let this soak in a little bit because we are Liverpool. By the way, if Zubimendi doesn't want Liverpool, Liverpool doesn't want Zubimendi, okay? If he was that indecisive to basically promise to come and then pull out, then not a Liverpool player, okay? Good riddance. We don't need you. Zubimendi says no, but let's talk about some positives that we have learned from the past couple days. Well, Luis Diaz is still a Liverpool player, and he is very much in form and very much ready to cook this season under arneslot. He looked a little bit more decisive, didn't he? 2 goals. One of the goals he scored was a quick cut in and a single touch shot into the upper right-hand corner. Normally we'd see him go back and forth several more times, but it looked like he was just very decisive, and I'm wondering if Slot is already working on him with that. If Jota stays healthy this season, Liverpool will win trophies. But that is a big if, honestly. I'm just hoping that the Slot way of training and making sure his players are not fatigued keeps Jota on the field more this season. And if they're able to do that, there are really good things in store for Liverpool because Diogo Jota is just so class. He's so class. Gravenberch. We got to talk about Gravenberch. And I want to talk about Gravenberch for a while here because he could be the missing piece of that double pivot alongside McAllister. Now, before you start whining and complaining, by the way, please do that in the comments, okay? If you're gonna whine and complain, please put them in the comment section. But Gravenberch, because I get it, like, we don't wanna just say, oh, well, Gravenberch's like a new signing anyways, because like he didn't really play last year and he's great. I don't like that, that's stupid. I just don't even wanna say that because it's annoying. But Ryan Gravenberch, if Slot uses him correctly, I think he could be a really, really big piece this season. Is he going to be a world-class defensive midfielder? Probably not. But could he play that role really well? I think so. Because a slot defensive midfielder doesn't have to be like a Virgil van Dijk defender. He has to be able to disrupt play, obviously, but also be that conduit that is going to be used from the keeper, from the center backs, part of that square right in the middle with the 2 center backs and the 2 double pivot midfielders. And I think Gravenberch actually does that really well. I'm going to pull up a couple graphics here, okay? Let's look at Ryan Gravenberch. This was back at Bayern Munich versus Rodri in the 2019-2020 season. Now, I'm not saying Ryan Gravenberch is going to be Rodri, okay? Please don't hear me say that. What I am saying is he might not be an attacking midfielder. He might be more of a defensive midfielder. And here's why. Well, if you look at the possessions won from Ryan Gravenberch, that is 99th percentile. That's very good. The big piece that he seems to be missing, that Ryan Gravenberch seems to be missing, by the way, he looks a lot better on the ball than Rodri is, right? Look at those. Dribbles attempted, shots per 90, touches in opposition box, chances created, all higher than Rodri. But the thing he's missing, really, because he even has more defensive actions per 90, the only thing he's missing is the aerial duels, 1. And I'm wondering, Ryan Gravenberch is not a small guy. He's a very tall guy. I'm wondering if he's not that far off from putting that together and really, kind of becoming that central figure alongside of McAllister. I think he can do it. He's got an excellent first touch. We've all seen him do those turns where, defender's on his back and somehow he just shakes and bakes like crazy. And I think he could be, dare I say, perfect in Slot's system of building from the back. The slot ball that we've been looking at here in the preseason. He's tall, he's lengthy, he's calm, he's collected, and he played a lot of defensive midfielder at Bayern and Ajax and excelled more in the double pivot at Ajax. So those are some things that we really need to consider. And again, I'm not saying like, everything's fine. We didn't really need Zubimendi because we have Ryan Gravenberch. No, I'm not saying that at all. It's still a massive disappointment, but I think Ryan Gravenberch showed us in this preseason that he's ready to go, and that's a big win for Liverpool. So don't sleep on Ryan Gravenberch, okay? All right, here's another guy that I think could actually fit in really well. And I really hope we get to see a lot more of Trey Naoni this season because he looked dynamic in the preseason. He looked ready to go, and it looked like Slot might trust him enough to give him some first-team football this season. Could he be the missing piece? Could he be the guy? And by the way, I'm still very high on Stefan Bajcetic. Still very high on Stefan, the young 19-year-old Spaniard. By the way, he's a Spanish defensive midfielder. Okay, does that sound familiar? If Stefan Bajcetic can stay healthy this season, again, it's a big if, right? It's a big if, just like Jota. This one's even a bigger if because we haven't seen Bajcetic in 2 years play consistent football because of injuries. But if Stefan Bajcetic, if Slot can come in and say, this is how we're going to train you so that you stay healthy, he's going to be huge. He's going to be huge. He's a great player. We just need to keep him on the field. So Trey Naoni looks like he should stay with the first team because he has been dynamic, scored a goal against Sevilla at the weekend for the second to last game in the preseason. So I'm really hoping we get to see more of Trey Naoni. Looks like a really, really good player. Andy Robertson's back, by the way. It's good to see him play. He played in the closed door session with Las Palmas. He looked really good. It's good to see him back. We've got our left back. He's our starting left back, by the way. Ben Doak, not really good news here per se, but Ben Doak has the X factor. I think he does. He's just not ready. He's not ready. He's got to work on his mental game. He's got to work on his decision making. But I think he has the X factor. And I really hope we don't sell him. There's been rumors that we're selling Ben Doak. Doesn't really make sense to me, unless there's something I don't know. But I think he could be a really good player. He's only 18. Don't forget that. Carvalho to Brentford for around £27.5 million. I think this is a good piece of business. I do. Even in the wake of not getting Zubimendi, I don't think he was able to play much this season. Think about the options we have ahead of him. If he were to play left wing, we've got Diaz and Gakpo. Like, you're not breaking through that, dude. Like, there's just no way. Jota can play out there too. Darwin can play out there too. And then if we were to play Carvalho in the middle as the 10, I don't think so, bro. You're not getting past Szoboszlai or Elliott. It's just not happening. So I think he was surplus, and I'm guessing there were probably some attitude issues as well that Arne Slot was just not impressed with. They seemed to get rid of him pretty quickly after the preseason, and I think they got a good price for him too. I don't think he ever was going to fit in. There was a question I had about a week ago, like, has he done enough? Has he done enough to stay? And clearly not. They got rid of him as quickly as they could. Lewis Kumas signed a new long-term contract and then was loaned out to Stoke. That's fantastic news. Really like this kid. He seems to have what it takes, and I'm really happy to see that he got a new long-term contract, and now he's going to get some really good playing time with Stoke. See how he develops this season. It's going to be very exciting. Owen Beck, rumored, I don't think this is final yet, but a loan to QPR. Again, this is good news. Beck is going to be a fantastic player, still very young, and so to be loaned out to QPR, I think they're playing in the Championship. But to see him play this season as well and see how he develops is going to be excelente. He's a great player. Luke Chambers loaned to Wigan as well. Another one with seems to have what it takes, and we've seen some really good things from him in the preseason and in the academy last season. He is loaned to Wigan, which is good. Just a good opportunity for him to grow and develop. This is the weird one. Bobby Clark and Ben Doak, I heard rumors of permanent moves away for these guys, which just doesn't make sense to me, especially, I think even more so than Ben Doak. Bobby Clark seems like he came in last season. It seemed like he was just ready to go. Like, I would expect him to perhaps maybe be ready to play in the first team this season. Now, if Slot came in and said, Bobby Clark, he's 21, he's just not even ready, like he's not even close, then okay, I guess so. Like, at age 21, if you're not ready, like, when are you going to be ready? So who knows what happens behind the scenes. Those two, I had a lot of hope for, and I'd be surprised if they did not stick around or at least get loaned out. The permanent moves is weird. All right, final piece of good news here. We are apparently rumored for Georgi Mamadashvili from Valencia. 30 million euro. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're probably laughing right now because why should we expect this to happen? Well, I don't know. But there's a rumor, and there's a rumor that this guy's very good. He's potentially the next Allison. And then the rumor continues in that we would purchase this player and loan him out immediately because why would we keep him at Liverpool? We've got Allison, we've got Caoimhin Kelleher, who, by the way, Caoimhin Kelleher sticking around, which I'm honestly very surprised about, but I'm actually very excited about because we have two world-class goalkeepers on our team. We really do, and that's good. Maybe the deepest position on our team at the moment. That's all I've got, guys. I hope this was encouraging after tragic news of Zubimendi saying no to Liverpool. But, hey, we move on. It's Liverpool. We will be totally fine. And now, if Liverpool have success this season, especially if we fail to sign anyone this summer, then it'll be that much sweeter, right? Because we will know that Arne Slot is the guy. And by the way, he's the guy, okay? Because Arne Slot thrives in situations like this. Of course, we all want to sign the best players. But when we have Arne Slot at the helm, okay, I feel like he's the right guy to work with what we have. And we have a great team. It's not like we have a terrible team. We have a world-class squad on our hands. And I think Arne Slot is going to fine-tune so many of these pieces to work really well. So I'm going to be optimistic. I hope you are too. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll have a civil discussion there. All right.